Hello all, our topic for today is to find out the refractive index of any given liquid using laser. So what happens is Ri or refractive index is basically a dimensionless quantity. It actually tells us that what is or how light travels through any medium. So generally it is given as n is equal to c by v, where c is the speed of light in vacuum and v is the velocity of light in that given medium. So obviously since they are both speed and velocity, it will be a dimensionless quantity, just giving us the characteristic of how light travels in any medium. So approximately for water, like our basic medium here is going to be water. So approximately for water, refractive index is 1.33. So this tells us that light travels 1.33 times faster in air vacuum as compared to in water, because C upon V is 1.33. So the speed of light in vacuum is 1.33 times faster than that in water. So now Ri can also tell us like when a ray of light enters a medium. So suppose this is a medium, so I may say this is water and this is air, and this is a ray of light. So Ri can also give us how much does this ray of light bend when it enters from one medium to another. So the refractive index here is n1, this is angle theta 1. The refractive index of the second medium is n2 and this is angle theta 2. So by Snell's law, this relation is actually given as n1 sine theta 1 is equal to n2 sine theta 2. So Ri can also give us how much light bends when it moves from one medium to another. Ri also tells us how much light is reflected when the light reaches this interface between any two medium, and also the critical angle of any medium after which total internal reflection takes place. So I'll explain what is critical angle and what is total internal reflection. So critical angle is basically, so suppose I'll draw this setup again because it's a huge setup here. This is, now for me, I am taking laser as my source. When this laser light falls in water, so it enters from here, obviously water will be in a tray, so this is the second end. At this point, you know, it will be reflected back. When it is reflected, this will also, some part of it will also be refracted into the air again. So this continues, like as the angle of incidence changes, the angle of refraction also changes to a point that there is one space when this refraction, angle of refraction becomes 90 degree. And after this, so I will just extend this a little, sorry, I will say extend it to here. After this angle, what happens is the light is reflected back into water again. So I suppose for this case maybe my angle of refraction is just here. So after this, the light is reflected back into the medium itself. This is called total internal reflection, that the light after a certain angle, this certain angle is when the angle of refraction is 90 degree. So this is the angle we are talking of. This critical angle when the angle of refraction is 90 degree, after this total internal reflection takes place. So this total internal reflection means there is no light refracted after that. Everything comes back into the medium itself. This is called total internal reflection. I hope you are clear with what is critical angle. I repeat, when the angle of refraction is 90 degree, that angle is critical angle. After critical angle, for angles greater than critical angle, there is total internal reflection. That means the incident light is reflected back into the medium itself. None of it is refracted into the air. But there is one important point to note. Total internal reflection only occurs when light travels from denser to rarer medium. From denser to rarer medium or lighter medium. So over here, obviously water we all know is dense as compared to air, and that is why so here is air and this is water. So only when we are traveling from water to air, that is when we are traveling in this direction, do we get total internal reflection. So total internal reflection only occurs when light travels from a denser to a lighter or a rarer medium. I hope this concept is clear. So moving ahead, now if you see, I'll just make this again. I'm making a smaller height so that I can do justice to the total internal reflection and find out the formula. So this is laser hitting. Now after the laser hits here, as I already told you, there will be different incident angles. Similarly on this side also, you have incident angles. I know I'm supposed to I'm going in the opposite direction, but I'll just make the arrows. So this is, now let's say this is refracted, this is refracted, this is 90 degree critical angle. After this, the ray falls back here. Similarly, this ray falls back here. Again here also, this is here, maybe this is here. This ray falls back. So we will get, when these are the spots for this laser beam. So I'll have a graph paper here. On the graph paper, I'll get this central spot, and I will get a circle which will consist of all these reflected beams. So that circle will look something like this. Inside the circle you will have a dark patch, because whatever angles were less than this have refracted out into air. But from here onwards, since they've come back, they've reflected back, so you'll get a circle here consisting of all these reflected lights, which will be a dark prominent circle. And obviously beyond this circle also you will have dark area, because everything beyond this circle is what is reflected back inside. So now we have to consider this circle, and using this circle, the diameter, we will measure the refractive index. So if you see, for this circle, this is the diameter. So basically from the center point, this is going to be my R, correct? Now this was my angle of incidence, or this was my critical angle. So I was only reaching up till here. So if I draw a straight line here, it will look something like this. This is the reflected ray, this is the incident ray, and here I have my normal. So this was the critical angle. Now according to critical angle theta, I will have, because this was the critical angle, so by alternate angles this angle will be equal to this. This was the laser beam. So I am getting my circle here at this point, but the angle is only up till here. So this will actually, this distance, complete distance is D. This distance is R by 2, sorry, R, not D, R by 2. This distance is R from here to here, but this distance will be R by 2, because you are also taking into consideration this part, and I am only talking of this triangle as of now, this smaller triangle here. So in that case, you know you will get tan theta of the critical angle is opposite upon hypotenuse, adjacent. So I get opposite, and this is nothing but the height of water. So it is nothing but r by 2 upon h. Now why have I taken tan theta c? Now why not sine cos? Because I know the opposite side, I know my height, I don't know the hypotenuse, and that is why I have taken tan of theta c, because I know r by 2 upon h. I am getting my r from here. You can keep a graph paper at the bottom. From the graph paper you can measure r, and then you can get r by 2. So we had Snell's law already here. You know for air n is 1, refractive index is 1. You know theta is angle of refraction is 90 degree for critical angle to be achieved. So sine 90 is 1. So therefore we get 1 is equal to n2, which is refractive index of water, into, now this sine theta is nothing but, sine theta 2 is nothing but my theta c. We are talking of this angle. So therefore n2 will be nothing but 1 upon sine theta c. So I have to measure this. So what are going to be the steps? Measure, your table will look something like this. You will measure r by 2, measure h. So from that you will get tan theta c. After tan theta c, take tan inverse to get just theta c, and then find out sine theta c. And then from sine theta c you can find out your refractive index. So now let's move to the experimental setup. So as you can see, I have kept a graph paper here, and I've just hit the laser beam on the graph paper. Now I'll add water, and you will see as I put water, the diameter will increase. You can measure the length of water or the height of water using a vernier caliper or a scale. That's your choice. And let's see. So if you can see, there's a dark ring. You have to measure that dark ring. So we'll just put in more water. The diameter of the dark ring is increasing. If you can see, let the water settle. So you will be able to see that the diameter of the dark ring keeps increasing. So as you can see, the diameter of the dark ring has increased. This outer ring is what we are talking of, where I've kept my hand, this outer ring. Okay, so as I pour more water, this ring size will increase. So let the water settle. So as you can see, with the help of the graph paper, you can measure the ring size. So you will take just the beginning of this circle. I know the circle is fading out. No, you will take just the beginning of this circle. So you will measure this with help of the graph paper, and you can measure the height. Substitute those values in the given equation, like which we just saw, and you will get the answer. So you can conduct about 7-8 readings with different levels of water, and then average out your final value of refractive index. Thank you.